Let me just check a couple things here. So today is actually going to be pretty fun. I have been doing a lot of research of different digital marketing campaigns over the years. And what I have found time and time again is that there's so much correlation between B2B and B2C marketing campaigns. And the B2B marketing campaigns are starting to learn that the more that they treat their marketing campaigns like business to consumer, the more successful that they are actually being, because we've been treating them as two basically different silos at this point. The business to consumer, there's kind of, you're going directly for the decision maker, you're going for humor, you're going for giving them the best deals, you're trying to build a direct relationship with those people. And as we've been evolving, especially when you're looking at how brands have been growing by bringing on a army of affiliates. If you're looking at software companies, if you're looking at digital products, courses, if you're looking for business to business services, business to consumer, a lot of it is been based on of people don't really want to have relationships with brands anymore, right? That's why kind of Ronald McDonald or the King at Burger King and all these kind of things are getting a little bit more phased out. And it's really about who are these individuals that people are following that has been truly building like that people know and trust and like, that have a relationship, which is why you're noticing kind of a bigger spike of celebrities that are getting more into the business game. So, Ryan Reynolds doing a deal with Mint, right? You've got a lot more people doing, celebrities who are spokespeople for cellular companies. And so because there's that like and trust factor, and they want, because they like that that movie, that film, that TV show, whatever it's going to be, they're going to trust that brand a little bit more. And so that's kind of what we're moving into on the B2B side. And so when we're talking about digital marketing strategies, there's kind of a few different ways, especially when you're trying to do a little bit of a hybrid of how the B2B and the B2C world are kind of coming together. And the best form that is coming to light at this point is humor. People want to be entertained. People want to be laughing at this point of their life. There's been a lot of stuff going on, and so the more that they will laugh, or they're watching an Instagram reel, a TikTok reel, a Facebook reel, whatever that's going to be, it's less about reposting it, and it's more about sharing it directly to someone that you're close with a friend, a family member. If they think it's funny, they're going to take that and share it. And that's where Instagram is saying and TikTok is saying most of their views are happening, is because it's not about the reposting, it's about the sharing. And then if someone likes it, they're going to continue to share it to their network, therefore the viral network effect, right? And so that's kind of I think the next direction of where people in the B2B space should be going. And when people have they're kind of I'm trying to find the right phrase for it, but when there's like an influencer who he has like this, I don't know if it's real, or if it's an artificial butt or whatever it is, but he is really big on racing, right? So when he had when everyone was very Zoom fatigued and the meeting fatigued and online video conferencing fatigued, he would have a big green screen in the back, and I can actually show a couple videos of that. And he would be going down a water park, or he would be at a race, or he would be at a tailgate, or he would be with his friends. And the green screen in the back would show that he's in his office, but he's wearing like a Bears jersey, and he's got lines on his face to show that he's at a game, or whatever that's going to be. And that's just because that's where people's minds were at. And so he was able to go do brand deals, and he was able to go leverage that exposure because that's where people's heads were at the time. So I'm going to show a couple different examples, and then I want to dig a little bit further into how people are actually using more humor for both business to business and business to consumer, ultimately to build their brand. And they're using, one strong video marketing campaign is allowing, and I'm going to show you, two of them has actually been through what the Harmon brothers have done. And that's for actually, no, I'm sorry. One of them is for what Harmon brothers did, which was the Purple Mattress. And then the other one was the Dollar Shave Club. The Dollar Shave Club and the Purple Mattress both did mergers and acquisitions for over $1 billion. It was about $1 billion or a little bit over $1 billion after they really dialed in their marketing, they really dialed in their messaging. And a huge portion of that was really understanding who is the main people that are actually buying these individual products, these individual services. And so once they dialed it down to more of a human level where it was relatable, it was funny, it was shareable, that had a very large network effect, and that actually had a very strong impact on the overall brand and their reputation, where now that people were so familiar with that brand because of that one video that they saw, and Gary Vee talks about this a lot. This is kind of the path ultimately to get more eyeballs on it, get more viewers, get more exposure, and then that will ultimately help increase sales, because where attention flows, money goes, right? And so I'm going to show the first one, which was what the Harmon brothers did here. Let me know if you can see it. I believe I've got to, here we go, raw egg. This was the raw egg test. That's right. So let me share this one. This is pretty funny. All righty.
To tell that your bed is awful. The raw egg test. Let me prove it.
It was totally genius. It's totally genius.
When it comes to mattresses, you used to only have 3 choices. Looking for some shoulder pain? Try a hard mattress. Oh! It may feel like a rock and put pressure on your hips, but it's the perfect way to tell your partner, hey baby, want some arthritis? It just fails the raw egg test. Then there's the soft mattress. It starts out okay, but collapses over time, like some cheap sneakers or Anakin Skywalker. And since it comes without back support, you get to try cool new hobbies, like chronic pain. But it also fails the raw egg test. Now let me explain the eggs. The raw egg test states that the perfect bed will let you put weight on raw eggs without breaking them. Because if a bed can cradle raw eggs while supporting all that weight, it'll also cradle your pressure points while supporting...
You get the idea. And the funny thing is that no one really thought about putting a raw egg on their bed until they started doing this, right? It's like that they created basically a whole new standard of how people viewed their bed, right? It was like, would it pass a raw egg test or not? So they took their own vehicle of what would justify a quality bed versus not, and they just implemented that throughout the entire video, which was truly a genius idea, right? And it was good because, they also had a lot of relatable content of putting it directly in a bedroom, right? It wasn't in some warehouse where you actually feel like you can actually relate to a hard bed versus a soft bed, and talking about all of your back problems and how people are always complaining about their bed. And a lot of that is just because they sat down, their content team sat down and talked about all the different pain points that someone would normally experience, and they would integrate that entire process into a video script, right, into that actual advertisement. And so that is kind of part of the genius of when it comes to the marketing, and I'm guilty of this as well, of we're just going to go through and put stuff out and see how people respond. But they went through and actually thought through all the individual things and conversations that people have had with their friends, with their family, their pains that they might be thinking but aren't actually verbally saying. And they crank that out over, maybe a course of 2 or 3 days. And now they're able to not only tell you about it, tell the story, but give you true visualizations around it, which is, comes down to the whole egg test. And I just really thought that was totally genius. And so when you talk about more of like a B2B approach, this was another one that I just found fascinating and funny because again, it's totally relatable. It goes through the exact same thing of what I'm talking about. I guess I'll share it with you right now. But this talks about more of the video conferencing hurdles, right?
Thanks.
Great. Maybe we can get started then.
Oh, great.
I think your mic is picking up your speakers.
My mic?
Do you have headphones?
You want me to put them on?
No, I want you to smell them. No, I want you to put them on. Hey, Beth.
Hey everyone, sorry I'm late. I had to download.
So this obviously talks about all the
You should
complications
plan
that
extra
someone's
time
going
for
to
the
have
updates. There's pretty much one every time.
when you're trying to join a video.
Sounds like someone
conference,
just
right?
joined.
Hey guys, it's John. I had to call in. I'm stuck in traffic. Have I missed anything yet?
No, it would have been nice for you to join the rest of us, but we'll see you when you get home. All right, while everyone is here, finally, Tyler, do you have that financial report?
Well, it's been the last few weeks updating our books, and I got some great news for you. Schedule from this point last year. We had a great Q1.
We lost Tyler, I think.
Am I frozen?
Hey, Trip, I think we lost.
So basically what they're doing is they're obviously taking all of the different human elements, right, of what we deal with on a day in and day out when we're typically dealing with video conferencing, other than, if you're doing like a jet call or a jet webinar, obviously, because we work very closely with our customers. We get lots of feedback and lots of people that say they're very unforgiving in this space, right? So we had to make it absolutely perfect ultimately until that we know it's, audience ready and it was ready for everyone to use, so they would have no hiccups like this. But the idea is that there's all these video conferencing platforms that have all these technical difficulties, and you're including all the different human elements into it, right? And so what their content team is doing is they're sitting down and they're breaking out all the different scenarios and then integrating that into real life. And again, it's humorous, it's relatable, and this is the mark that I truly believe a lot of B2B companies are really missing out on when it comes to growing your audience, growing your exposure, being able to really relate and hit all the major pain points to do this. And so now when you're talking about a overall digital marketing strategy and a guide, you've got more of the video marketing approach, and then you also have the account-based marketing approach, right? And so when you're doing more of account-based, obviously you're not going through and you're not going to sit with your content team and talk about all the different scenarios of what you need to improve and kind of work through that. This is more about, okay, here's our dream, 300 or 200 clients that we would want to work with. Now let's write all those people down. Let's write down all of the titles of those people who work within that organization. Let's find those people and let's break down how we can actually get in front of them. So now I'm kind of transitioning from the marketing approach, right, of what we're going to do from a one-to-many versus saying, if you're going for more enterprises, if you're going for companies that, are between maybe the 20 million and 50 million range, or 50 million to 200 million range a year in revenue, this is the best way to kind of go about that, right? And so now I'll tell you a quick story because I think this was actually totally genius. So one of our partners in the company, he's been responsible for probably over 300 merger and acquisition deals. And his big thing is, I want to irritate my competitors as much as possible, so they will either try to buy me, or they'll either want to merge with me, or one of the two, right? And so now what he did is that one of them is in the I believe in the contracting in the contractor space for using software technology for contractors. And so their big thing is that you've got, when you're dealing with contractors, you have a lot of different tasks. You've got a lot of people, a lot of different projects. You have a lot of people involved. Each person has their own responsibility. I'm kind of going through this process now, actually, updating purchase to house, and I'm kind of going through that entire process of, updating some things and dealing with a lot of different contractors. So I definitely feel this pain. And if you're still renting, God bless you, because it is not something that you want to deal with. But the whole process with this technology is this will help streamline, simplify it, put it all on paper. You'll know exactly what's going on. You'll be able to stay within budget without things getting all out of whack and everyone's kind of everyone's on the same page, right? And so this, our partner had a competitor who he was involved with this business, and then there was a competing technology, and they were hosting a large event. And so this large event was for other contractors, other people in the space, you know, other people who would ultimately be their most ideal clients, right? And so what they did is they put on a big conference that was going on, and so he did kind of a two-prong approach. The first one was he hired it was a plane that had a big banner at the end. So what he did was he put the company banner, he put like a funny funny text at the banner that included the company name, and then he paid a pilot to literally do circles around this event. So anyone walking in or out would remember this plane flying over and just going in circles, going round and round. And so this was causing such a ruckus because everyone, not a ruckus for my partner, but a ruckus for the people who were actually hosting the event, because everyone walking in and walking out, that was the first and last thing that they were thinking about was this plane that was flying around with this banner with a competitive name on there. And so that was taking up a lot of their attention. They were going to the website because they had a link to the website, and that was driving a lot of traffic from all those most ideal prospects. And so what you could do from there is then everyone who ever visited your website, you can remarket those people. Remarketing is if they're going to Facebook, if they're going to go watch if they're going to go watch a video on YouTube, if they're going to go read an article, you can have your ads show up on all these different sites, all these different platforms, all these different social media platforms, so you stay on top of mind. And so that was driving him nuts because that was driving a lot of different signups, and that was helping really grow the business substantially. And so that was a really strong approach that was like, okay, you've become enough of kind of a pain or a thorn on our side. Let's do something about this, right? Or we're gonna either let's buy you, or let's figure this out because your marketing tactics are outperforming what we're doing. You're able to get the attention of our customers a lot more, or our ideal customers more than we are. So let's figure this out. And so just by having a better marketing approach allowed them to actually get bought out for a very strong multiple, right? And so that is like a very creative approach, right? It's not like it cost them millions of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars. You're talking about maybe a couple $1,000s to have a pilot fly in circles for a couple of hours, right? And so when you have to really think creatively outside the box when it comes to a B2B marketing approach, right? Now, if you're having a little bit more of a digital marketing approach when it comes to figuring out who are these top account-based marketing people that you can actually go after. Now, when it comes to that, you've got obviously the name of the companies, you've got the titles, you've got the revenue thresholds of each of these people, and there's different ways to do it, right? You can be able to collect their email, you can find their phone number, you can do text messaging, you can do local marketing. So if you find out where they're living, if you find out where their headquarters are, so you have to figure out all that information, and then once you have that will allow you to figure out, okay, what articles are they reading? Where are they spending most of their time? Do they go on Google? Are they searching videos on YouTube? What are they doing to get more reach, more exposure, or solve this specific problem within your niche? And because we focus a lot more on lead generation, on revenue generation, on helping figure out a way, how do you grow your email list? How do you build a relationship with those people who are in your email list? And then how do you get it to a point where you've given them so much value where they actually want to buy from you? Now there's kind of a multi-tiered approach of how you can actually go about that, right? And so now, and again, it goes back all the way to the conversation of what was the purple mattress, right? They were sitting and talking through all these details, or the video conferencing ad of all these different situations, and really thinking through, okay, you got someone calling in, you've got someone whose audio isn't working, you've got someone who's got headphone issues. So now you're actually thinking, what's the day-to-day pain points that people are truly experiencing? ultimately to help grow your online presence. And so when it comes to having a B2B marketing approach, there's so much that you can do there. And so if you want to think through that, if you want to talk through that, because everyone now, they've got their own role, and adding any additional thing on their plate, right, would probably overload them, right? And so the ability to actually have someone who wants to think creatively, who wants to help you think a little bit more outside the box, ultimately to use that to grow your business, to grow the number of leads, to grow your number of sales, and have a scalable way to do that. That is a key thing. None of these businesses now, whether it was the Purple that had $1 billion exit, or Dollar Shave Club that had $1 billion exit, if they didn't have the infrastructure and they didn't have a way to actually scale their business and operations, they were only good at the marketing side, but they weren't good at fulfillment. They weren't good at the operational portion of it. It wouldn't be a successful business. They would just implode. And we all know plenty of those examples. So the key thing is that there's generating the leads, there's generating the sales, but having a strong feedback loop ultimately to continue to help grow your bandwidth as you're scaling up. There's a lot that's really important when you're building in those systems into your business. And so whether it's more of a technology overhead or it's a strategy conversation, would be more than happy to go through, have those conversations, think a little bit more creatively on how to integrate that into your business and to kind of help you scale and grow from there. So definitely a lot. Hopefully that provided some value, some different interesting insight on how you like to think and look at your business. And as far as like other successes that I've personally had with our clients, we actually had someone, I think I could probably show this, where someone actually generated, was about, I think, $5,800 in the last like 48 hours just through selling digital products, right? Through selling courses, because they took their exposure. They followed a specific formula that we've been trying to integrate into their video marketing strategy. That got a lot of viewerships. It got a lot of people to stick around, and then that turned into more sales. And so I can show you the back end numbers and the processes of some of how we've been able to do that. But the whole idea here is I can kind of just, let me just kind of break this out a little bit. I can show you. So like right here, for example, I don't know if this is going to show. So yeah, right here, what we basically did is that you see that we're able to generate over 17,000 leads. And so these 17,000 leads, this was a clear way of, okay, we've got one offer. It's working very well. Let's not do anything new. Let's not do anything that, now that this is working, let's go find the next shiny object. Let's dial this in, let's scale it up, and let's see how long that we can actually run this for without, because this whole thing is, we want to generate the lead. We want to build a relationship with our audience at scale through email marketing, through retargeting campaigns, and then we can use that to ultimately grow our overall sales and revenue, right? And so everything that we do is really broken down with a data-driven approach. So when we are going and we are trying to generate more leads, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you here. So when we're trying to generate more leads, you can see, I might have to zoom out here. So this is a breakdown of, on the top bar here, you'll see registration, attendance, and conversion. So this can be used in a lot of different ways. If you're talking about free offers, if you're talking about video signups, if you are talking about the number of people who are downloading an ebook, who are previewing your course, people who are seeing a software demo, so signing up for your free trial. There's so many ways that you can kind of break this down, but the idea is that you want to see how many people are showing up and they're actually engaging with your content. And this is all a very data-driven approach, right? How many of those people who are seeing the page, how many of those people are signing up, how many of those people are engaging with your content, and then how many of those people are taking action. Now, a conversion can ultimately be number of people who are, signing up for a free trial. It could be number of people who are taking out their credit card and buying a product. It could be a low ticket product. And so, there's different ascension paths based on your different business models. But the idea is that you're going to know, is it an audience problem? Is it a messaging problem? Is it a offer problem? Is it a medium problem? So now you'll be able to actually figure out what's working and what's not. And then if something is working, how do you go through and ultimately scale it up? And how do you grow? How do you grow and scale from there? And again, everything is broken down by the numbers. It's not, I have a gut feeling that this isn't working anymore. We need to objectively look at that ultimately to figure out how to help grow and scale up what you're doing. And so when it comes to like some of the results, we've helped generate, multiple 6 and 7 figure campaigns online. And I can kind of show you different case studies and success stories around how we do it. I can show you different screenshots. Not exactly sure if that's kind of what you're interested in, but I can kind of show like an idea here for, if I just share this really quickly. So this is, we work with a lot of different types of platforms, but this is kind of like a ClickFunnels dashboard where kind of show it here. So here, this was, we were able to generate, this was one campaign where you saw the front end offer where we helped generating those leads. Once we generated those leads, we brought more people and we invited them to like an online training. So once we got those people into an online training, we had about 35% of the people who saw the online training actually signed up for it. And then of those, 823 people who actually signed up for it, we had 116 people actually go to the order page where we had a $997 offer or a $397 payment plan over the course of 3 months. And then of those, we converted about 8% of those. And so now what we like to do is categorize these people, right? So there's people who saw this offer, then there's people who saw this offer, and now there's obviously going to be about 700 people who signed up but didn't see the page, right? So these people are going to get a different type of ad. Now, the people who saw this page, there was 90 people who actually bought, but then what about the other 26 people who did not buy? Now, the 26 people who saw the page and did not buy is going to see a different type of ad because everyone's going to have their own buying experience because they all went through your campaigns, and some people saw specific pages, some people didn't. And so what we want to do is hyper segment that audience based on where they're at in the buying cycle because they're going to all have their own unique experiences. So we want to be sure that our messages reflect their own experiences that they're having, because if we treat everyone and put everyone in the same bucket as one, that is a clear way for people to go through and actually drop off, right? And so you're gonna have, if you do that, it's a less attention to detail. You're not really as focused. If you go at it more of like an arrow versus just trying to like water hose everyone down into ultimately buying, that's not the path for you to go through and actually scale, right? And so now that we're building in these systems, whether it's for ourselves, for our clients, if that's something that you would be interested in, we can go through and break your audiences down step by step, ultimately to give you a path to see what you need to do to bring these people in. What's that carrot that's going to get those people excited? And is that offer going to be, that free offer that they're interested in, going to reflect or be related to what you're going to be trying to get them to buy down the road as they're going down this customer buying cycle or this customer journey with you? So I hope that gives you a little bit more clarity of how we like to look at things from just from a business perspective, from a marketing perspective, from a B2B marketing perspective, when you're looking at video marketing, if you're looking at the advertising strategy, if you're looking at the account-based marketing strategy. And so I hope all of this and these stories really helps give you some clear insight on what you need to do to really take your business to the next level. And again, if it's something that you would like to chat more about, I should have my calendar link in the description. If not, just comment, yes, I would like or just comment yes, and I can just reply with a calendar link, and then I can kind of go through and give you a strategy session just to kind of break that down. No charge. It's, there's no gotcha on there. Just more than happy to provide as much value and support as I possibly can, ultimately to help you grow your business and give you a clear blueprint for you to go through and integrate some of these systems to help scale and help you have escape velocity within your business. So again, thank you so much for everyone who has listened, everyone who's been paying attention. I hope you took some good notes. Obviously the replays are going to be available. So again, thank you so much, and I will talk to you guys soon.